Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is John J Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the South Louisiana Dynasty here on Maximum Football 2020, and we got a good game in store here. We are taking on the Blues Capital Governors, who are 3-3 on the season. They're in the hunt for the National Athletic Championship. They got a pretty solid team on paper. They got an 80 overall offense, 80 overall team with an 81 offense, 79 defense. We look like the underdogs on paper. 71 overall squad with a 73 offense and a 69 defense. Nice. But we're not afraid of anybody, man. So it should be a good one. Make sure you smash that like button. Hit me up down in the comments and shoot. Hit that subscribe button too if you have to be brand new and like what you're seeing. But before we even get into this gameplay, I gotta show you the recruiting board. We have been making some huge strides in recruiting. Let's go ahead and check that out real quick. But with the game ahead of us aside, we have been doing phenomenal over on the recruiting front, as we had 4 more players do end up signing with the program before we even get around to playing our game. Starting off, we have Aaron McBride, the 219th ranked recruit in the nation. Dreams of space traveling, the Leeville, Louisiana product. 6 foot 178 pounds. He gives us some nice size to work with. We got to bulk him up a little bit, but he could be a very special player for us. He'll give us the size that we need. We also signed 3-star player Mac Jackson, 5 foot 9, 206 pounds, from Jonesboro, Louisiana. He's a 302nd ranked prospect in this recruiting class. Known to be a high motor guy, and that level of competition will shore up the defensive side of the football. The most important part of any football team is how you can do in the trenches, and we fortified our trenches here for sure. We signed Miles Gillard, 6 foot 5, 340 pounds. We got ourselves a little behemoth. The 362nd ranked prospect, might have some discipline issues, but he's got the size that we want. And then the other player that we signed a 2-star player in Luke Bivin, 5 foot 10, 214 pounds, from Lake Charles, Louisiana. So he is a hometown product right here, in South Louisiana territory. He, guy that doesn't give up easily, guy that always has a chip on his shoulder. And that's exactly what we want from our quarterback. He could be a future starter, even though he is only listed as a 2-star prospect. But let's see if we can go ahead and live up to the expectations that our recruits are having for us as we take on these Blues Capital Governors, man. They're a pretty tough team, man, to be. At least they're pretty good in terms of like National Athletic Conference standards. We might see them in this conference championship game, but I mean, that's not something that we need to worry about right now. We just need to worry about this game right here in front of us. They start out with the football here, so we're trying to get the home crowd behind them early. As Johnson, he somehow almost finds a way to pick up that first down. He was rolling, he was, fighting for that extra yard, so I do like the extra effort that he had there for sure. As Newman will throw on a 3rd and short, ends up finding Crosby out there on the right-hand side. So it is going to be a 1st and 10 as Newman will drop back. He's going to throw over the right-hand side. He had multiple receivers open, but literally threw right in between them. None of them were able to get to it. As now, 3rd and long now, but they go deep downfield. They caught our defensive backfields lacking, and the Blues Capital football team is going to strike first. They're going to take a 7-0 lead here. So they will end up striking first, but it is also our time to go ahead and get this football. Let's see what we can do with it as we are going to receive the kickoff. I'm liking the blocking. Can we get to the outside? We do. It's turning into a foot race, and we get tripped up. Oh, if we got away from that last guy, he was going to take that to the crib. But we still get some really great field position that we have to work with early on. Like, we're starting off on their side of the football field. We got to make sure we get some points out of it as we actually have to scramble here, trying to go ahead and get some yards. And, you know, Anderson, give him credit. He was able to make something out of nothing, picks up a big gain. But it's just going to show that they're going to try to key in on this rushing attack early. You know, force Anderson to really be that guy that is going to go ahead and make sure that, you know, if we beat them, that it's not because we were able to get something going on the ground. As speaking of that ground game, Niang is able to go ahead and pick up that first down for us. As now we got 1st and 10 coming up. We hand it off once more. Niang finding some good space to work with. We pick up a gain of 7 as we continue to try to get this run game going. Trying to get it out to Niang once more. He's got it on the outside. He's got some space and picks up a first down. We have yet another 1st and goal situation. Let's see if we can even things up here against Blues Capital as we end up fumbling the football on the very next play. So Blues Cap, the Governors, end up getting a goal line stand, virtue of a turnover. And that just makes me sick. We definitely left some points on the board there for sure. And now Blues Capital is going to take over, and they are also going to gash us with the running game here as Graham goes right up the gut and picks up a good chunk of yardage. As now Newman looking to the left-hand side, gets it out to Graham once more. He now accounts for 2 first downs, able to make our guys miss. Definitely showing that Blues Capital certainly has got some speed on him. As Newman will drop back again, this time right over the middle. Another reception for Graham. Not sure if that was who was the original intended target was supposed to go to, but nice reaction by Graham to go ahead and get to the football. And he has really been a star here on this drive. We got to find a way to take him away, or at least contain him. Make this quarterback, you know, makes something happen with his arm or his legs, or get a stop. Either way, you know, I really don't care at this point as long as we stop him, you know, straight up and down. As there's a 2nd and 10 coming up. Randall getting out to the outside. He's going to pick up another first down here as well. So it's going to be 1st and 10 coming up as Trey Randall joined his first reception of the day. Newman going to the right-hand side, going right back to Randall. And it's going to be yet another first down here for the Governors. They're sitting right outside of the red zone now as we got a fumble, but we get to it. So we force a fumble. They got a fumble on us, so we're able to get revenge. And a big drive for Blues Capital ends up stalling out. And we now have the football back once again. Got to make sure we take better care of this time around. As we, need to do a better job of communication, on those pitch plays. There's always a risk for that. But now there's a 1st and 10. We'll get our quarterback involved in his running game. And couldn't get the block on the outside like I wanted to, but still a nice first down for us to go ahead and work with. As we got a 2nd and 6 now coming up as Anderson looking around, trying to drop back. Going to try to make a man miss. And while he couldn't make a miss, he did end up falling forward to pick up this first down. This will probably be the last play of that first quarter, as Anderson will look to scramble again. Nobody really getting open downfield, so Anderson's going to go ahead and slide down, get across the 30-yard line. And that's going to wrap things up here in the first quarter. Both of us have been able to go ahead and move this football, but receivers got to get open downfield. We haven't even been able to attempt a pass yet. So let's go ahead and see if we can get a little bit more production out of our passing game as we go ahead and start the second quarter. We do end up actually attempting a pass, and we had our guy, but we just barely overthrew him. And that's going to be 3rd and 12 coming up here as Anderson will look to drop back. And we had another guy open downfield, but the same thing. We end up overthrowing him. And we're going to go ahead, attempt the field goal. Looks like it's going to be about a 47-yarder. We do have the leg on this thing, but he just straight up shanks it out the right-hand side. So another miscue, this time from our special teams unit. And we still find ourselves down 7-0. So, not how I wanted to start this game necessarily, but all it takes is one play, and it will tie this game right back up. We still have that opportunity right in front of us, but Newman is actually going to go ahead and escape the pocket, and he's going to end up picking up that first down. As now, Newman under center is going to drop back once again, looking to the left-hand side, and we was looking for Graham out of the backfield, but we're catching on to him. We end up getting the deflection. It's now 3rd and 7 coming up. Walker in the shotgun. Let's see what they end up trying to do here as Newman looking to drop back, but look who gets in there and makes the sack. That's Albright screaming from the edge. And we will force them to punt away this football. And we have the ball back in our hands, but we certainly got our work cut out for us as their punter did a really good job of pinning us inside the 5-yard line. So, I mean, there's still a few minutes left here before we get into halftime, but we have a lot of yards for us to go ahead and try and pick up before we can even start thinking about trying to go ahead and, add some more points onto the board before we go into the locker room. As Looney will end up picking up the first down for us here. We got another 1st and 10 coming up as Anderson drops back. We have a man wide butt naked open, but we miss again. The overthrows that Anderson has had in this game today has been absolutely insane. That's his 3rd overthrow. And to make matters worse, on our 2nd down play, we end up getting sacked. So now 3rd and 17. Now we have to deal with an obvious passing down at this point. And y'all already know we have had struggles passing this football, but we end up actually getting a completion over the middle. And that's going to be good for another first down. So, that being said, Anderson dropping back. He's looking around, going to try to throw it out to the left-hand side. We had somebody out in the flat, but that is going to be incomplete, though. It's now 3rd and 11. Another obvious passing down that we're going to have to deal with. As we look around, trying to find somebody to get open. We have the flat open, and Davy Smalls ends up making the catch for us, gets us across the 35-yard line. We're still in business here, and we still have all 3 timeouts as well. As now, 2nd and 12, looking around, trying to throw it over the middle of the field, gets it to Tyler Tucker, and he picks us up yet another first down over the middle of this field. We could also start taking our time a little bit. We still have another 1st and 10. Going with the 5-wide set. Going to try to throw this thing towards the end zone. But Davy Smalls peels off his route early. And that almost was an interception because of it. Glad we still have this football. As now, we try to throw on 2nd and 10. Had to get rid of it quickly as Anderson did not have a lot of time to throw that football whatsoever. So now, 3rd and long coming up here for South Louisiana. Can we finally get this thing to the end zone? No, sir. Another incompletion. And we're going to go ahead, send out our kicker once again. He's missed from 47. This one's going to be just a 35-yard field goal attempt. Gotta have a little bit of faith here as the kick is going to be up. And that's also going to miss. So we missed 2 straight kicks from our kicker. We end up getting shut out in the first half. But despite all of that, we're only down by 7. If we can clean up our mistakes, we can win this football game. Let's get it done. So let's go ahead and get this second half officially underway. We do at least get the ball to start the second half. And look at this big run. Now we end up breaking out from the get-go. Niang getting us to about midfield. Let's see if we can follow up with something great here as we got 2nd and long coming up. We try to throw to the left-hand side, and we nearly end up throwing an interception. Again, the overthrows have definitely been an issue for us all day long. As now, 3rd and 8. Anderson looking around, trying to get to the outside. Can we get to this first down marker? No, we're going to be just short. It's going to be 4th and 2. And you know what? Screw it. We're going to go ahead and go for it here. It's on our side of the field. Only need a couple of yards. Scared money do not make any money. Anderson dropping back, facing some pressure. Can we get out of there? No! We end up allowing a sack. We turn it over on downs. And that's just absolutely tough for us to deal with. Coming out of the halftime locker room, we had some nice field position to work with too, thanks to the run from Niang. But now we're in some serious trouble. We give up a big play. First time out after the turnover on downs. It's now a goal line situation. Hopefully our guys can come through here and get this goal line stand. We've been doing okay so far. We do end up getting them to 3rd and goal as Newman ends up getting lit up like a Christmas tree, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go, man. End up making sure we get these guys off the field. And now that being said, 4th and goal coming up here. We almost end up blocking this field goal. We were actually pretty close, but Blues Capital will end up tacking on a field goal. And now we're going to really find out what our football team is all about. Because if I'm not mistaken, this might be the first time all season long that we are currently, down by multiple possessions. So this is going to be a really big moment for us as a football program to see how we can handle this adversity as we throw to the left-hand side, looking for a receiver. But that is going to be another incompletion for us. As now, 2nd and 10, we send a runner out into motion. We drop back, looking for somebody to get open over the middle of the field, but we can't connect. Again, the inaccuracy of our quarterback has certainly been killing us a little bit here. Might be one of those things where maybe we need to look for a pocket passer, in future recruiting classes. Because right now, and Anderson is great, running the football as well. But if he's going to continue to be this much of a liability in the air, then, that's going to seriously be an issue for us. As speaking of that, there's yet another inaccurate throw, and that one could have been a touchdown. We could have had multiple touchdowns by now if we were just able to connect on some of these passes, but it just hasn't happened yet. But we do get a connection there. Pass over the middle to Looney. Did have to come back a little bit for it, but it still ends up being a first down for us. It's now 2nd and 9 coming up. Anderson dropping back, throwing over the middle, and finds Tucker into the end zone. Touchdown, South Louisiana. And that's going to make this just a 3-point game. As now we go ahead, see if our defense can rally up and make sure that it stays at just a 3-point game. As Newman under center, but somehow manages to find a way to escape the pocket. And that's going to end up being a first down. So now, Newman dropping back once again, throwing to the left-hand side over to Randall. And Randall does end up picking up a first down. So now the Blues Capital Governors are trying to put together a drive of their own. And Randall is certainly a big part of that here, as well as we are, seeing him get really involved in the offense. As we have another 1st and 10 coming up. It's going to be a run on the right-hand side, but it's a miscommunication on the pitch. It ends up on the ground for a fumble. And that is going to be possession for South Louisiana. And we have a chance really here to seize momentum, getting it out to Nate Ross, who makes the catch, gets downfield. It's a foot race for our junior tight end. And just in a blink of an eye, man, we are in the end zone. Touchdown, Saints! And just like that, man, first lead of the game. We are now up 14-10. Let's see if we can keep that momentum up here in the second half. We're going to try to send some pressure over to Newman. They pick up the blitz well as Franklin does a really good job of maintaining concentration despite the tight coverage that we had there. As now, 1st and 10 again. Newman dropping back. Going to throw this one over the middle of the field. It is going to be deflected away at the very least. And now the Governors are going to be dealing with a 2nd and 10. Newman dropping back, facing pressure right away though. So running it up the middle almost as if it was actually a quarterback sneak, as that is going to wrap up the 3rd quarter of play here. A 14-10 performance. So here we go, 4th quarter. Things have been going our way here to start this second half, but it's going to come down to a photo finish, I imagine, because it's going to be a tight one. As Newman throws over the middle, gets it out to Franklin, and it was for a 1st down, and that was even with the pass interference being called on Travis Albrecht. As now we have to try to contain Graham. Graham picking up a big gain as well. He picks up a gain of 7. Is now got a 2nd and short coming up here. Newman under shotgun. It's a 5-wide set as Newman, he's going to send this downfield, and we end up getting absolutely mossed. We had the coverage there. I was hoping for a user pick. Still have not gotten a user pick yet in this dynasty. And instead of that happening, we do end up giving a touchdown, but it does look like they are actually going to go for it here for the 2-point conversion. They don't even need to. And we will at least make them pay for it there. So, 2-point conversion is no good. We're still down, but we're only down by 2. So a field goal, if we can somehow, get some better kicking out of our kicker, we can take the lead off of that instead of having to go for a touchdown. That could play a big role later on. So now 2nd and 3 now coming up. We call a quarterback sweep on the outside, and Anderson once again getting some really nice running room to go ahead and work with. And we're already almost at midfield ourselves. As now Niang trying to run this ball upfield. He's going to pick up a gain of 5 as Niang gets him across the 50. We're now in Blues capital territory once again as Niang going to run it up the middle once again. Another 1st down here for us. We don't need to change our offense too much. We just got to make sure we keep executing as Anderson will throw on 2nd and 7. We throw an interception. They read the crossing pattern, and they're going to make us pay for it in a huge way here. Pick 6 for the Blues Capital Governors. And all of a sudden, we are now looking at a 2-possession deficit once again. We're down by 9. They settle for the extra point this time around, and we really need to move quickly here. Now we can't fool around. Now we're going to have to be more pass heavy moving forward. So let's see if we can get some good passing plays in. 1st and 10. Anderson dropping back, trying to throw over the middle, finds Brown, and ends up getting a good chunk of yards. Gets us to about the 25-yard line. As now, 1st and 10 once again. 5-wide set. They're going to send the blitz on us, but we get the ball off. We find Davy Smalls all by himself. And it's going to be a touchdown for the South Louisiana Saints. We settle for the extra point. And we're right back to where we started. We are now down by 2 points once again. But now our defense needs to come through with a stop. They've been playing pretty well overall with the exception of the long touchdown pass. So let's see if we can get it done here. So that way we don't have to use our timeouts on this drive. 3rd and 6. Newman. 5-wide set, looking him right in the eye as we go ahead now. Gonna go try to send the blitz, but they get it off to Franklin just before the pressure could get there. And it was a big gain as well for the Governors. As they're inside our 40-yard line now. 1st and 10 coming up here. as they run to the right-hand side. Get it out to Graham. Graham, he's going to get to the outside, and it's going to be a foot race into the end zone. Another touchdown for this Governor's offense. And we're right back with where we started. We're down by 2 possessions once again. And we're really starting to get into desperation mode once more. So here we go here. Gonna need a big play. Something to spark our football team to let us know that we're not out of this game just yet. And wait a minute here. This is the foot race down the sideline. One man left to beat. Graham can't even go ahead and make the tackle either. And we're going to get ourselves into the end zone. Touchdown, South Louisiana. And we are not done yet. An extra point now gives us a 2-point deficit. And I know there specifically isn't any onside kicks, but I think we're going to have to do that here because their offense is really starting to pick up. So I don't know if it'll work. I've never tried this before, to be honest with you guys, but I'm hoping that this does work a little bit. And the kick is actually turning out pretty well. They don't return it for a touchdown, but it looks like the onside kick is something that simply cannot happen, on the special teams. Because, our guys were there. We could have picked up the ball, but yeah, that's not going to happen for us here, unfortunately. So now we need our defense once again to step up here, and they pick up yet another first down here. Brown's going to pick it up here. So now 2nd and 7. Don't have to use our timeouts. I'm not going to use timeouts whenever there's a first down, but Newman's going to continue to try and throw this football, and it's an incompletion once again. And that's massive for us because that means we don't have to turn around and use a timeout. Even if they run it here, which they do end up running it, we will at least have 1 timeout left to work with. They will end up punting the football as well on top of that. So now we have one more chance to win this game, but that's not a good start for us whatsoever. Anderson's going to end up getting sacked. And I don't want to use the timeout yet. So the clock's going to keep running down to 1:10. Anderson looking around, trying to get it downfield, and that's also going to be incomplete as well. So now we got a 3rd and 15 coming up here. Hoping to get something on the tight end seams as we get to the outside. Good, just throw it up for our tight end, and he can't make the grab either, unfortunately. So now 4th and long. Going with the Hail Flutie at this point. Hoping we can see a play happen here as Anderson looking to avoid pressure. He's just going to go ahead and run with it as nobody was really winning on the outside. Does end up being a first down for us at the very least. As now another 1st and 10 coming up as Anderson dropping back. He's looking around. Going to scramble once again. Let's see if we can get out of bounds. We do end up doing that. So some smart clock management right now as we're across the 40-yard line as Anderson looking to throw down the left-hand side. And Harris cuts his route early. And this time, the Blues Capital Governors make us pay for it. An interception, which essentially ends this game. And we will lose to our conference opponent by a final score of 30-28. And look, we did a little bit better passing the football. 10 for 25, which still isn't great, but 290 yards passing, which is pretty nice. 248 yards on the ground. We had more total yards on offense than Blues Capital did, but those missed field goals and that turnover that we had in the red zone definitely came back to haunt us for sure. Blues Capital was pretty efficient with their passing game, though. 15 for 24 for 289. Also ended up with 24 carries for 158 yards. And look, we also won the time of possession battle as well. That was another thing that we took care of. But look, it just was those things. We just weren't meant to win this game. We were supposed to win, and because of the mistakes we made, we're going to lose our 3rd game of the season. You hate to see it. So this was certainly a really tough game for us to go ahead and take on. Losing the way that we did, it definitely hurts, but we might see them again as we take a look at the National Athletic Conference standings. We're 7 games in. we are actually in a freeway tie for first place right now between us, Blues Capital, who just beat us, and the University of Dayton. We're all 4-3, and we're on top of this conference right now. So it's very much possible that we could see Blues Capital again this season, potentially in the conference championship game. But with that being said, it's something that we simply can't dwell on, as next episode, we actually will have our rivalry game against the North Louisiana Eagles, from Alexandria. It's going to be a good game. Rivalry games are always amped up no matter what the records are, so it should be a good one. Make sure you smash that like button. Hit me up down in the comments down below. And hey, if you happen to be brand new as well, feel free to hit that subscribe button as well. It doesn't cost a thing, and you can always unsubscribe if you're not feeling me later. But with that being said, this is John J Gaming on the mic signing off. I'm hoping you're all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.